Dan Henderson is an animal.
Dan Henderson's been in the game forever.
Because Dan Henderson was so fucking dangerous, and he had that fucking ridiculous power. If you touch him, he's like made out of wood. Anybody, he's like made out of wood.
Anybody Dan Henderson touches with that right hand, nobody survived that shit.
Still.
Not too many fighters get to say they were so elite in all the different organizations.
UFC tournament champion, Pride 2 Division champion, and now Strikeforce light
Pride, bro.
kingpin. You are looking at a bona fide MMA legend.
The guy who started out grappling was one of the most dangerous strikers in the sport.
Bro, if you win that Pride Grand Prix, you win anything in Pride, you legendary. You one of the scariest people on earth, straight savage. I'm gonna let you know right now.
If you enjoy stories about legendary fighters, make sure to hit the like button and subscribe. Now,
Hey, but y'all was spamming Dan Henderson. We finally here. Finally here. I appreciate everybody who tuned into the channel. Let me know who y'all want me to react to next, man. I want to see more fight videos, Pride, UFC. Check the playlist, man. But
let's step into the world of Dan
D-Hand.
Henderson. Born on August 24th, 1970, in Downey, California, Daniel
born in
Jeffrey
California.
Henderson grew up on a ranch in Apple Valley.
Growing up in a
California
little bit of a
guy.
small town, had horses and almost every animal you could think of.
His father, Bill Henderson, introduced him to wrestling at the age of 5.
I started wrestling when I was 5. Think of.
His father, Bill Henderson, introduced him.
Look at his daddy, bro. His daddy like this. Like Cock Diesel.
To wrestling at the age of 5.
I started wrestling when I was 5 years old. My dad kind of pushing us into wrestling. My dad had brought me to a wrestling tournament. I don't think I had ever been to practice before, and then watched my brother wrestle. And then the next time I went, I was the one wrestling also. And I think it was after that we started doing the practices.
And went on to become his coach for much of his athletic life.
I saw a picture of your dad, and the guy looks like the Hulk.
He used to do bodybuilding way back in the day, and he was Mr. California Natural at one time.
Damn!
He worked out every morning in our garage when I was growing up.
As a kid, Dan tried his hand at almost every sport, from football and baseball to track and gymnastics, but nothing matched the competitive intensity of wrestling.
We played other sports also, but wrestling's kind of what I gravitated towards as I got older.
During his teenage years, Henderson met Bob Anderson, a former world champion and Olympic wrestling coach who saw his potential early on.
It's this quote here. Let's just say if it wasn't for my dad and Bob, Dan Henderson wouldn't be who he is today.
You know, Bob was just one of those guys, kind of an old school coach that, you know, made you grind in practice, made you do a lot of extra work.
Anderson's influence, combined with his father's guidance, gave Dan a world-class foundation and instilled in him the discipline that would later carry him through both the Olympics and his fighting career.
My dad was my wrestling coach as a kid, through high school, through 2 Olympic teams.
In 1984, when the Summer Olympics came to Los Angeles, his father took him along with a group of international wrestling coaches to watch the U.S. team compete.
The other coaches from Sweden and Amsterdam, and when the 84 Olympics were in LA, a bunch of those people came watch the Olympics, so wrestling at the Olympics. I got to go, and I think that's when the bug got in me.
Sitting in the stands as a 14-year-old, Henderson watched the American wrestlers go to war for Olympic gold. That experience lit a fire that would shape the rest of his life. Henderson attended Victor Valley High School in Victorville, where he became a standout wrestler. He quickly rose through the ranks, finishing runner-up at the 1987 California State Championships and capturing national junior titles in both Greco-Roman and freestyle wrestling by 1988. His natural power and relentless pace made him one of the nation's top young prospects.
The year I graduated high school, very next Olympic trials, I tried to make the team and got my ass beat pretty bad.
After high school, he wrestled at Cal State Fullerton.
You know, went to college and wrestled at Cal State Fullerton, but at the same time, I started going over to Russia to train, and then had an opportunity to drop out after 2 years of college, you know, try to make the 92 Olympic team.
After earning his place on the 1992 U.S. Olympic team, Henderson competed in Greco-Roman wrestling at 82 kilograms, finishing 10th overall at the Barcelona Games. Following the Olympics, he continued his wrestling career at Arizona State University, where he trained under and befriended Randy Couture, who was then an assistant coach. Both men shared a passion for Greco-Roman wrestling.
You know, Randy and I were training partners forever.
The connection between Henderson and Couture grew into a lifelong friendship.
Randy and I have been friends for a long time. His fighting life and his marriages are real similar. They get together, they roll around a little bit, they mounts him a couple times.
Hey, it's nice having friends like that, man. Always keep you humble.
Next thing you know, 15 minutes is up and there's a judge involved and the whole thing's over.
Damn!
Henderson
Keeping
soon
it real.
committed fully to Greco-Roman wrestling, the upper body style that became his lifelong specialty. He went on to win 3 university national titles and 3 senior U.S. national titles, establishing himself as one of America's best. In 1996, Henderson won the U.S. Olympic team trials to earn his second Olympic berth, where he finished 12th overall. Then fate intervened when an opportunity to fight in MMA came unexpectedly.
When did you come to MMA? When did you start fighting?
1997.
Henderson's move into MMA began when Randy Couture encouraged him to try the new sport, mentioning that it offered better financial opportunities than wrestling. In
He came in 1997.
Henderson joined the Real American Wrestling Team, an early MMA training collective for elite wrestlers.
Just being a wrestler my whole life, I knew how to compete. I knew how to prepare and get ready. Being on 2 Olympic teams, I had a lot more competition experience than most MMA guys. I think it's the best base to have. If you're going to do MMA, learn how to wrestle. It allows you to control the fight a little better, where it goes.
I see everybody say that.
Or take a guy down.
I
see everybody say the best fighters are wrestlers who become punchers, or wrestlers who learn how to kickbox and stuff like that. Which is probably true, because if you already a wrestler, so you already can defend a takedown, can take people down, and you know how to throw punches. It depends. But
secured his first MMA bout in Brazil, entering a 4-man tournament on short notice.
Randy called me up one day and said, "Hey, I'm doing this tournament down in Brazil at heavyweight, and they got a lightweight tournament. You want to go do the lightweight tournament?" And I was like, "Well, okay." I went down and did it. 2 weeks later, I was down in Brazil fighting.
However, Couture didn't fight in Brazil, and instead made his own MMA debut shortly after in the UFC.
In the meantime, Randy had already put an application into the UFC. They said no, but then he got a call. Somebody got hurt, so he didn't go down to Brazil. He went to the UFC instead. I think it was UFC 13 was his first one.
I'm just happy to be here at the Brazil Open fight. This will be my first Vale Tudo event, and
Vale Tudo.
Kind of prove a little bit as far as Greco-Roman wrestling goes, and maybe make a little money in the process. Been wrestling for a long time, never get any money for it. So,
bro, seeing these fighters young, bro.
Henderson defeated 2 opponents on the same night.
I be looking real sometimes.
As I'm getting into the cage and they're shutting the door, I'm like, what the fuck did I get myself into?
He submitted Eric Smith.
He's got the choke on. He's got him down. Oh, he didn't. He's out.
Official time, 30 seconds.
And knocked out
He got choked him to death.
Now the hitting. Oh, look at that. Here we go. Look at that. There's 5 punches there. That's it. He lost a fight.
Winning both fights by stoppage to claim the tournament title. Shortly afterwards, he stepped into the UFC.
How did you even get into the UFC?
I just got a call.
Helped in part by Couture already competing in the UFC and bringing visibility to their camp.
Because he was in the UFC, I was his training partner and cornering him.
Yeah.
They just wanted me to fight.
Born in Downey, California, he's part of Raw, Real American Wrestlers. With our heavyweight champion, Randy Couture, he is a young man, Dan Hollywood Henderson.
And won the UFC 17 middleweight tournament, defeating Alan Goes.
Mr. Dan Henderson.
How you defeat him?
And Carlos Newton, officially launching his MMA career at the elite level.
Congratulate you. That fight was what the UFC is all about. Dan, we hope we're going to see you back again.
You'll have me back.
We're looking for you back.
I'm mainly focusing on my wrestling, and that's what's coming next for me. So until I get a call from the SCG and UFC guys, I'll be just thinking about my wrestling.
Well, I'm sure that call is coming. Congratulations. Best of luck.
I never sparred before I fought in the UFC.
Never.
I hit the bag and hit focus mitts, and it was just kind of awkward to punch your friend in the face, We had boxing guys.
Bro, that's insane, though. I'm sorry about stopping this video, bro. But that's insane, because what's they had the same problem. Dan Severn, he was a wrestling head. Wrestlers so focused on wrestling and getting. They don't want to punch nobody in the beginning. They don't be wanting to punch nobody.
Guys that would come in, but there was no coaches back then.
Then they start punching faces off.
Right.
After proving himself early in MMA and gaining international attention, Dan Henderson drew interest from Japan and was invited to compete in the prestigious Rings King of Kings tournament.
I wouldn't be here if I was planning on losing or if I thought I wouldn't win. So yeah, I think I'm the one to beat.
But it was a 32-man open weight class tournament.
The toughest night of fighting I've ever had.
If you win that, you straight savage.
The unlimited weight class tournament. When I did that tournament, that was the first time I sparred in practice.
Henderson's King of Kings run began on October 28, 1999 in Tokyo, where he fought twice in one night, first stopping Bakuri Gogititse with a knee to the body.
My first fight, he was a Greco 220-pound heavyweight wrestler that, he was the biggest pussy I fought out of all of them. I think I kneed him in the ribs and he kind of went down and tapped out.
And and then
He
edging
said-
Hiromitsu Kanehara by majority decision to
tapped so
advance
slow.
in the tournament. Months later, on February 26, 2000, he returned for the finals and fought 3 times in a single night, outpointing Gilbert Avell by unanimous decision in the quarterfinals, earning a split decision over Antonio Rodrigo Nogueira in the semifinals,
Big Nog, he fucked my knee up.
and then defeating Renato Babalu Sobral by majority decision in the final to become the inaugural Rings King of Kings champion.
I never made that much money. The most I had ever made was when I fought in the UFC. I made like 20 grand. And this final fight was worth 200 grand, and I made 230 grand instead.
After his success in rings in early 2000, he teamed up with Randy Couture and Matt Lindland to create Team Quest, and around the same time decided to step away from pursuing Olympic wrestling after failing to qualify for the 2000 Games.
So we kind of were doing wrestling and fighting for a couple years, and then we, quit wrestling and just started fighting full time.
Team Quest turned out to be like one of the best gyms ever. When did that kind of start falling together?
I moved up there for like the last year before the 2000 Olympics and trained full time with them up there. And during that time, some friends of ours had a health club and they weren't paying their rent, so they got evicted. And they asked us if we wanted to take it over. Took it over, and we called it Performance Quest, and then we started fighting out of there and called it Team Quest. Chael's been a friend of ours as well for a long time.
Simple as that.
Worked our Randy and I owned a little health club a long time ago, and Chael was our front desk girl for a while.
The fact that they got Chill in here is even more legendary. But Chill is legendary. If you ain't see that Chill video I did, go watch it.
Chael was our front desk girl for a while.
Team Quest would go on to produce stars like Chael Sonnen, Nate Quarry, and Chris Lieben, while giving Henderson a solid training base for the next stage of his career in Pride.
You won the tournament?
Yeah.
That was in Japan?
Yeah.
So that was cash money too.
And that's after that is when Pride hit me up.
Oh, damn.
So that was right before Pride.
Henderson joined Pride in 2000 and quickly became a fixture. His first major setback came in 2001 when he lost to Wanderlei Silva, the first
The
defeat of his
Savage.
career.
When I
Real
first started fighting
savage.
in Pride, I was thinking I was only going to do it for a year because I just finished wrestling and I was going to go to chiropractic school actually. And then they paid you in cash, and I'm like, man, that cash is kind of hard to walk away from. So I'm like a stripper that thinks she's only going to do it for a year and she's still doing it when she's 46. That was me.
He kept shaking that ass. He said, I'm only gonna shake ass for a couple more. Nah, let me shake that. Look, I say, nah, let me stop. Hey, that buddy be talking though.
It's one of the greatest fights. Wanderlei Silva, Pride 12, December 23rd, 2000.
The Savage.
There is no way this didn't take a few years off of your life.
That was a tough one.
For the takedown defense. Oh, beautiful right hand by Wanderlei Silva, dropping Dan Henderson.
He about to start dropping leg. He about to start dropping. Oh my God.
Henderson, good right hand. Wanderlei is hurt. Henderson chopping away.
I wasn't in the best shape for that. I was in a wrestling tournament in France and got an email. They offered me, I was supposed to fight Vitor, pulled out. So then they offered me Wanderlei. I had no idea who he was. I just said, okay, whatever.
The
He
Brazilian
definitely hit me hard a few
Savage.
times.
Ready to go. Wanderlei coming in.
Oh!
Right hand by Wanderlei Silva. Round is pounded.
Wanderlei skirt. Here, man, I'm telling y'all right now.
Dan by the neck.
If you want to know who Wanderlei is,
Slugging it out. Dan Henderson giving as good as you get.
you better go find out.
Henderson stayed in Japan and worked his way back up the ladder. He knocked out Renzo Gracie in the first round at Pride 13.
Word? Not a Hanzo?
Oh, back down.
Stopped a
How did he knock him out?
He knocked out Renzo
With a
Gracie
knee?
in the first round at Pride 13.
Land.
Back down.
Stopped Akira Shoji at Pride 14.
Dan Henderson, his right punch is his punch. But it's that right punch he'll throw over and over again. Oh, good right hand by Henderson. Good left hook. There's that right hand.
Right hand again.
That right hand is the weapon. That knee hurt. Now Shoji turning his back. Now he's in turtle position. Good call. Good call.
Get him knees is
And then
vicious.
picked up a split decision win over Murillo Ninja Hua at Pride 17.
Another uppercut by Henderson. They're trying here. Oh.
That's a Shogun, brother. Huh?
He's in trouble. Henderson's got a big right hand. Big right hand by Henderson. Dan Henderson.
Where does that power come from?
I don't know. I guess just naturally when I was a kid, I used to play baseball and throw the ball pretty hard. Naturally, you hit hard, but it wasn't for a while until I got a little bit better technically to put it in the right place.
Through 2002 to 2004, he continued bouncing between divisions.
Dangerous.
Yeah.
Dan Henderson. His name is Big Right Hand, and he's
Tell me y'all ain't that. Bro, this man literally a legit oral performing legend. I'm definitely, y'all always ask me in my comments, do another Bash Room video. Y'all be sending me different videos to do Bash Room. Trust me, he is coming more More Bash Ruler's coming on the channel, but it's great.
Unbelievable wrestler.
His next two, he dropped tough
Your Bash
fights,
Ruler,
one to
man.
Ricardo Arona at
The palm
205
killer.
pounds, and the other to heavyweight star Antonio Nogueira by armbar. Then he rebuilt his momentum with middleweight wins over Shungo Oyama.
Don't take him down. There's the go. There's that right hand again. There it is. Really getting. Oh, right.
Overhand right, he ducked into it. Sleep.
It's almost over.
A blistering first-round knockout of Murilo Bustamante.
I fought Bustamante on probably a week's notice. 2.5 months after knee surgery, a new ACL surgery.
No way.
Yeah.
That basically means your ACL was useless.
Luckily, I knocked him out real quick with that knee.
A TKO over Kazuhiro Nakamura, and a split decision victory against Yuki Kondo at Pride Shockwave 2004. His ability to bounce between divisions without hesitation earned
He
him a
got hog
reputation
hands,
as one of
it's
the
crazy.
organization's most versatile fighters.
Obviously, you're known for the H-bomb.
As you're beating guys, like you're bludgeoning them, you're knocking them out. And so this is when you actually get a nickname for one of your body parts, and it's your right hand. And so you get the nickname the H-bomb, and so that's from
The
legendary Pride
H-bomb.
commentator Mauro Nalo.
Everyone says I got a big right hand and worked a lot on my left hand, and you can kind of see the difference of what happened. I think my left hand's bigger now.
In 2005, Pride launched the Welterweight Grand Prix to crown its first 183-pound champion.
He's affectionately known in Japan as the American athlete. Moving down from middleweight to welterweight.
At Bushido 9 on September 25th, 2005, Henderson fought twice in one night, knocking out both Ryo Chonin
Oh, dropped him.
and Akihiro Gono. Those performances set up a New Year's Eve final at Pride Shockwave 2005. He met Murilo Bustamante again, this time at welterweight, and won a hard-fought split decision to claim the Pride Welterweight Grand Prix and become the promotion's first welterweight champion.
Oh my God! He wins! Can you see?
And I'm going to read this quote from your book here. I heard the ring announcer scream, "Dan Henderson." And it dawned on me that I had finally won the first championship belt in my career. I had reached one of my mixed martial arts goals. I could check world champion off of that list.
He was the winner of the UFC 17 four-man lightweight tournament. He won a 1999 Rings King of Kings tournament, but nothing compares to the feelings Henderson is experiencing right now. He is a champion in Pride Fighting Championships.
It's my first championship belt ever. I've been fighting in Pride for 5 years, and it's been a long time coming for me. And hopefully I will be a great champion for Pride in the next few years. Thank you. Thank you very much. It's been an honor to fight in Japan again.
It finally happened, and it worked out well tonight.
After defeating Kazuo Masaki in their first bout and later losing a competitive rematch, Henderson regained momentum with a solid win over Vitor Belfort, setting the stage for his rematch with Vanderlei Silva for the Pride middleweight title.
They called me up for the next show. They wanted me to fight Vanderlei. I was like, okay, no problem.
He had to fight the Savage twice?
I was waiting for my chance to fight him again. And he had the title for about 5 years at that point.
Henderson's 2007
he
rematch
ran
with
Pride.
Vanderlei Silva at Pride 33 became a career-defining moment as he knocked Silva out in the third round to win the Pride middleweight championship.
All the way, what was happening? Oh, right hand!
And become the first fighter in the promotion's history to hold titles in 2 divisions at the same time.
He was Conor McGregor before Conor McGregor. Nah, he did win like dirty though. Hold on. Sleep.
And become the first fighter in the promotion's history to hold titles in 2 divisions at the same time.
That's crazy. I did not know that. That's GOAT activity.
To knock Vanderlei out the way I did was one of my top 2 fights as far as a feeling of accomplishment.
It's just indescribable. There's no way I could have done it without my team over here, Team Quest.
Big your mouthpiece out.
I got no teeth in.
It's okay.
I want to know where Dan Henderson learned to throw that spinning back.
He said I got no teeth in. What?
My body's feeling good. I don't know. Maybe I'll go for a 3rd belt. And I can't make lightweight, so you never know. I might end up at heavyweight.
What's it like them being the only ever man to be 2-weight world champion of Pride?
I never thought it was that huge of a deal. I guess it was McGregor that did it first in the UFC, right?
But you had both 10, 15 years earlier.
Yeah.
Soon after
That
he
is
reached
crazy. He did that in Pride, and Pride was savagery. Fedor did that in Pride is insane if you think about it. Yeah, that's crazy. Dang.
Pride began to collapse financially, and the promotion was eventually shut
Dana
down,
said, "Let me
with
hold
its
it."
fighters, including Henderson, moving over to the UFC as the organization came to
Damn,
an end. In
Fry.
2007, as Henderson entered his late 30s, he was diagnosed with clinically low testosterone levels. Under doctor supervision, he was
Under doctor supervision, taking replacement TRT. What?
Hey, bro, come on now, dog. Come on, man.
granted a therapeutic use exemption for testosterone replacement therapy, commonly known as TRT.
I was one of the first to start that. I asked them,
Really?
'cause I was like, oh, I don't want to do that. That's like steroids, isn't it? And found out more about it. It's just replacing your hormones. And then I asked the athletic commission, and they said, yeah.
Henderson explained that the treatment helped him maintain energy during training camps and recover from the physical strain of competition.
Yeah, I wasn't doing a lot, just enough to keep me in the normal range.
At the time,
Okay, so TRT can it help you though? I'm pretty sure it can enhance you. But if you take the normal stuff, you just keep it at a normal like range, basically like everybody else. So it's not really cheating. So the UFC allowed this. So I was thinking like, damn, hold on, ain't that cheating? But
TRT was
let them know
legal
in
in
the comments
MMA if approved by
more, though.
athletic commissions, though it would later become one of the sport's most debated topics.
So I think I was the first one to open that can of worms, but then everybody else kind of abused it.
Yeah.
When Pride was absorbed by the UFC in 2007, Henderson was immediately booked against champions.
The light heavyweight and the middleweight champion of Pride, who's come here to challenge for that light heavyweight title, Hollywood Dan Henderson. Dan, a lot of American fans who've never watched Pride might not know you, but you are the only man to hold two titles at the same time in Pride.
It's great for us fighters and especially the fans that we finally get to see who the top guy in the world really is.
It's me. I'm the top fighter in the world. I'm gonna show your teeth, baby. Watch this. Watch this. Show the teeth. Come on, show the teeth. Take the teeth out, baby. Take the teeth out.
Not till later.
Henderson fought Quinton Rampage Jackson in a title unification bout.
UFC had just bought Pride, and I think you guys were like one of the first unification fights where they brought the organization.
We was the first, but they gave that to Anderson Silva.
Henderson entered as Pride's
What you mean?
205-pound champion, while Jackson was the reigning UFC light heavyweight champion. In a competitive 5-round contest, Henderson started strong with his wrestling, but Jackson took over in later rounds and won by unanimous decision, handing
Rampage
Henderson a loss
won.
and unifying the titles.
I knew that was going to be a tough fight.
The UFC light heavyweight champion of the world.
Just a few months later, the UFC matched Henderson against Anderson Silva, the UFC middleweight champion.
That
in
was a
another
few months
high-stakes fight
later?
to unify Henderson's Pride welterweight title with the UFC's 185-pound title. He used his wrestling to control the opening round, but in the second, Silva shifted the momentum, took his back, and
Yeah, I think
submitted
it's
him with a
in
rear
this- yeah.
naked choke to unify
This was
the
insane.
UFC
I ain't gonna lie, that was
Pride
crazy.
middleweight titles.
So he had to defend the light heavyweight and the welterweight. It was like, bro, you both of the champions, you got to defend both of them things back to back. You got to face two of the baddest men in the world right now. That's insane. And the silver, the gold. So I'm not mad at him losing that fight.
After the Silva loss, Henderson rebuilt momentum with wins over Razamar Palhares and former champion Rich Franklin. After those wins, he was selected to coach The Ultimate Fighter, opposite Michael Bisping in 2009.
Michael
which sparked a
Bisping.
heated rivalry between the two.
Was your feud and your relationship with Bisping, was that real? You guys hate each other?
I don't hate him. I just have no desire to hang out with him.
Yeah.
Every week we've had that option to switch to later practice. This week we decided to exercise that option. The guys decided they don't want to wake up early. Next week.
Oh, okay. You can't do that, Dan. Well, you can't have it your way all the time.
Bisbing just, when things don't go his way, he just throws a little hissy fit, temper tantrum, and I've got little kids. And
Hey, should we react to Michael Bisping? Let me know in the comments, man. We should react to Michael Bisping, man. I go ahead and drop that comment, man.
At UFC
Michael
100,
Bisping.
he delivered one of the most famous knockouts ever, flattening Bisping with his H-bomb.
Was that really like a rivalry though for you? Like, is that why you had to shut him up, or?
The world wanted me to shut him up.
Now, he be talking crazy on interviews too, but bro.
Controversially following with a forearm strike on an already
A
unconscious
forearm strike?
You flattened him with that right hand. I mean, he was out cold, and then you launched yourself through the air and smashed him with that right hand.
Hold on, go back. He had to break something. If he ain't breaking that, I'd be surprised.
you flattened him with that right hand. I mean, he was
Nasty.
out cold, and then you launched yourself through the air and smashed him with that right hand.
It wasn't anything personal, like it wasn't a feud.
That knockout, that jump in the air slam knockout looked kind of personal, though.
I did almost the same thing to Vanderlei when I knocked him out before that.
Henderson later admitted the strike was intentional due to Bisping's trash talk, sparking debate about sportsmanship that followed him for years.
Like, you can't stop hitting the person until the ref pulls you off. That's what the ref's there for.
Absolutely.
So I don't understand why anyone would give you shit.
Yeah, I think it was more about what I said afterwards. The second one was just
to show someone.
The second was just, I like that energy. Why people mad at that, bro? It's a sport. Bisping's still alive. He's still working well. He healthy. Now if he'd had an issue, then that's another story. But Bisping all right. So you live this, smile about it, laugh about it. No.
I mean, somebody mentions that fight almost daily to me. Somebody tells me, thank you for doing that. Thanks for shutting him up. That was my favorite fight.
That logo that you have, the flying punch, that is the ultimate fuck you.
But I don't even know why he's upset about that.
Believe.
He's not even in it. There's no.
Yeah, but he knows what it is. Everybody knows what it is.
After UFC 100, Henderson's contract expired and negotiations with the UFC broke down.
When I was my contract ended when I knocked out Bisping, so it was a good timing for me to have to negotiate, and they said no.
Leading him to sign with Strikeforce for the next chapter of his career.
So you knock out somebody insane. I'm pretty sure he got fight of the night or knockout of the night, and you don't re-sign him? He was 37. I just thought about it. He was 37, 38. He was.
I left the UFC just because I asked them for a certain amount and they said no. And I said, okay, thanks. And I went to Strikeforce and they just gave me win or lose that amount, no matter what.
Damn.
So I was like, it's a done deal.
At 39 years old, Henderson was a major free agent signing to Strikeforce. Henderson's first Strikeforce fight came against Jake Shields for the middleweight title, but he lost by decision after a strong start. He then moved up to light heavyweight, stopped Babalu Sobral, and earned a shot at the division's champion, Rafael Feijão Cavalcante, defeating him by TKO to become a title holder in another major organization.
Guys would like to see more. Henderson, Feijão on that right, and the ground and pound. Henderson at the age of 40 has added.
At the age of 40. He said, I need all the belts.
Delivers the Strikeforce light heavyweight title, UFC tournament champion, Pride 2 division champion, and now Strikeforce light heavyweight kingpin. Unbelievable! You are looking at
It's a hell of a career.
MMA legend.
Legend. That's a fact. You ain't never lie.
Champion of the world, Dan Henderson.
I guess it's true what they say, life does begin at 40, my friend. An amazing performance and just another chapter to a legendary career.
After winning the light heavyweight belt, Henderson was offered a marquee matchup with Fedor Emelianenko.
The last emperor. Just to let y'all know, if y'all know who my MMA GOAT is, him or Igor.
In a special heavyweight bout, a rare crossover between two legends.
Got this sort of mega fight against Fedor, and I'm wondering how it all came about.
I don't know exactly. I know that I needed another
Fedor is throwing bombs and they coming fast.
Fedor, I said sure.
Henderson accepted immediately, bulked up to meet the heavyweight limit, and scored a dramatic first-round knockout.
I seen it, and once he knocked out Fedor, I was like, damn.
You're going up in weight class. He's a heavyweight. He's probably the greatest heavyweight of all time.
I didn't expect him to be that aggressive. You know, I think I hit him with a
He
left
knocked
hook
him
and
out?
backed him up, and I think that's when he figured out that the little guy can hit hard too.
Were you surprised that you knocked out Fedor like that?
A little bit, yeah.
Emelianenko rushing in, Henderson down. Beautiful escape by Hendo.
Oh, what happened? Oh, Fedor had him.
A little bit, yeah.
Emelianenko rushing in, Henderson down. Beautiful escape.
Oh, you got hit with the left. Oh, you got hit with the left.
The Fedor fight was the final bout on his Strikeforce contract, and with the promotion being a...
Fuck no. And I'm gonna stand on that. Okay.
Damn, the head different. How old was Fedor at that time?
Absorbed by
how old
Zuffa,
Fedor?
he became
That's
a free
crazy.
agent once again and soon began negotiating a return to the UFC.
What was the original thought when you found out that Zuffa had purchased Strikeforce, your former employers?
It's always a little scary thing when there's a purchase of the people that are
You
writing the
but
checks, so.
yeah.
There's only the UFC.
Dana
around,
White said,
you
"I
gotta take
need
what they
that.
Give you.
Snatchies, give me him."
When the UFC bought Pride, and I was in the UFC again, and then
Yeah.
Strikeforce came along, and I
Yeah.
went there, and then they bought Strikeforce.
Yeah.
Give me him.
That's what I told the press. I said Dana is like a stalker chick. He loves me so much, he's got to buy the company.
It's called Monopoly.
Later in 2011, Henderson returned to the UFC. His comeback fight against Mauricio Shogun
Shogun!
at UFC 139 became an instant classic.
These are savages, bro. And I didn't even think about it, bro. When these fighters be fighting each other, but you be like, how he lose? He can't. Bro, this is savage versus savage right now. Like, literally.
5-round war that is still considered one of the greatest fights in MMA history.
I got tired because I tried to finish him like in the third round and just fucking shot my wad.
That fight was fucking crazy. That was a crazy one.
It definitely was a lot tougher fight than I was hoping for.
The win earned him a title shot against John Jones.
Henderson, who meets John Jones for the UFC light heavyweight title at UFC 151 on September 1st.
But weeks before UFC 151, Henderson tore the MCL in his knee.
Yeah,
I was scheduled to fight John Jones.
it might have been a good thing. I ain't gonna lie.
Got tweaked in
Yeah,
practice.
it might have been a
I
good
was
thing.
probably the best prepared I've ever been in my life.
Yeah.
I think I would have fucked him up, but
Really?
His withdrawal forced the UFC to cancel the entire card, an unprecedented decision that became one of the sport's biggest controversies.
they offered Chael to fight, and Jones said no.
Take the
You
fight
had
if
a
you
full
want.
training camp. You're in shape. Obviously, Chael wasn't in shape.
Henderson later revealed he tried to fight through the injury but couldn't, and the lost opportunity haunted him as his last chance at
Damn.
a UFC belt slipped away. In 2013, Henderson dropped razor-thin decisions to Lyoto Machida and Rashad Evans, then suffered the first knockout loss of his long career when Vitor Belfort stopped him with a head kick. Around this time, Henderson's use of testosterone replacement therapy came under scrutiny.
Well, and they cut it out, too. They just made us quit cold turkey, and I didn't have a problem when I did that.
Critics argued it gave aging fighters an unfair advantage. When TRT was banned in 2014, Henderson stopped immediately and fought without it.
Well, you were one of the only guys who didn't show a
What
performance.
you talking
until
about,
you
man?
got off
Stop
of it.
playing.
Right. No, I wasn't taking much.
Did you have to do anything differently once you got off of it? Once they removed the TRT exemptions?
No.
Just stop taking it?
No. A lot of that shit's in your head anyway. I didn't start feeling my age until I was probably the last couple years I fought. So I was like 44 maybe.
He continued to score highlight reel knockouts, proving his longevity wasn't solely due to hormone therapy. At UFC Fight Night 38 in 2014, Henderson staged a dramatic comeback knockout of Shogun Rua in their rematch, once again showing his resilience. But losses followed against Daniel Cormier and Gegard Mousasi. In 2015,
DC.
just shy of 45
We
years
gotta
old,
do DC
Henderson
for
silenced
sure.
doubters again by knocking out Tim Boetsch in 28 seconds. Later that year, he faced Belfort a third time and was knocked out again, closing the
Damn.
rivalry with Belfort holding 2 brutal finishes. After the Belfort fight, Henderson had just 1 bout remaining on his contract, and at 43 years old, he openly admitted he was contemplating whether it might be time to retire once it was over. In 2016, Henderson delivered another vintage performance by finishing Hector Lombard with a head kick and elbow combination, earning performance of the night at age 45.
The Hector Lombard one, I was just watching that the other night. That one was nuts.
That was
I've never saw a head
nasty.
kick before.
He's short, so I was able to land it.
Bomb!
First came to the States, he came to my gym first. Nobody liked him. He was a big bully. I never had a problem with him, but everyone in my gym thought he was a big bully. Yeah, and that's all I said about it. And we're in the face-off, like, week of the fight, and he asked me.
I asked him, name me a person that I bullied at your gym. He said, that was what I got told. So I said, you're lying about it.
Who says I'm a bully? I'm like, everybody said you're a bully. And I'm like, you motherfucker, this isn't the time or place for that. I'm gonna fuck you up. Those last couple elbows, you motherfucker, this isn't
Them
the
last
time
couple
or place for that.
elbows
I'm
is
gonna fuck you
dangerous.
up. Those last couple elbows were a little bit personal. It's probably the only fight I've ever really felt that way, that I really wanted to fuck that guy up.
You know, it was an emotional night for me. Once it was over and for it to end the way it was, that I knew it possibly could be the last one. All my kids and family are here and pretty emotional, and you know, we'll see what happens next.
After the Lombard win, the UFC offered Henderson a fight with newly
Bisping.
crowned champion Michael Bisping, who had publicly requested the rematch in hopes of avenging the brutal knockout he suffered at UFC 100.
And I was going to possibly retire when I fought Lombard. Then they offered me the Bisping fight for the title. I was like, all right, that'd be a nice way to go out.
That win set up his farewell fight.
My last fight of my career was against him in England, in Manchester.
It was a brawl.
I was pretty excited to get the opportunity, obviously.
At UFC 204 in Manchester, Henderson dropped Bisping twice with his H-bomb,
What?
nearly finished him.
You know, the whole world probably knew that it was going to be really hard for me to do better against him than I did the previous time. I was 46 years old, and so those 5-round fights were definitely a little bit tougher.
But after 5 rounds, the judges awarded Bisping the decision.
It was
Never.
pretty shocking to me at the end of 5 rounds that I didn't get the decision based on the fact that I beat him up, and he looked like he got beat up. I meant it when I was going to retire, win or lose.
Henderson retired afterward, aged 46, as the oldest active fighter on the UFC roster with a record of 32 wins and 15 losses.
Dan, incredibly close fight. Everybody respects you. Everybody's wondering, Dan, is this the last time we see you in the octagon?
Yeah, I appreciate all the support throughout the years. Worldwide, I gave my heart and soul to this sport, and fans like you made it worthwhile for me to keep competing year after year. And thank you to Michael Bisping for giving me this opportunity. My last fight for the belt. I wish they judged the fight on how you look after the fight.
You will forever go down as one of the best ever, future Hall of Famer. Ladies and gentlemen,
That's a fact.
Dan Henderson.
Outside competition, he later opened Dan Henderson's athletic training center in Temecula, California, and in 2023 launched Hendo's Barrel House, a restaurant and distillery. That same year, he published his autobiography, Hendo, the American Athlete.
What is it about your career?
About growing up and how I became who I was, and then a lot of it is, kind of going through some of the fights.
I want everybody to go and get Dan Henderson's book. Get Hendo, the American Athlete. If you call yourself a true MMA fan, you should have that book.
Personal life was central to him.
The
He has 3
American
children from
Athlete.
his first marriage and married Rachel Malter in 2014.
Rachel
In
Malter.
2023, he lost his father, Bill, his lifelong coach and mentor, a personal tragedy he has spoken of as his toughest
Come on, man.
challenge outside the cage. Dan Henderson's legacy is unparalleled. He is the only fighter to hold titles in Pride and Strikeforce while also winning a UFC tournament and Rings championship. He fought from welterweight to heavyweight, beating legends such as Vanderlei Silva, Fedor Emelianenko,
That's
and
crazy.
Shogun Rua. His overhand right, the H-bomb, remains one of the most feared weapons in MMA history. Despite controversies over TRT and the infamous Bisping finish, Henderson earned enduring respect for his professionalism, longevity, and willingness to face anyone. From the Olympic mats to Pride championships and UFC wars, his story is one of toughness, adaptability, and legacy that few fighters can match.
Do you miss fighting?
Not really. I don't miss the preparation at all. And how tough that was doesn't make me miss it at all.
Hey man, shout out to D-Hand, man. Dan Henderson. I'm glad I read the Dan Hand, bro. I just can't believe he won a UFC tournament, but he didn't win a UFC championship because he lost to what's name back to back. But bro, they should have gave him some better fights, bro. They set him up for failure. Like, come on, bro. But nah, D-Hand great legend, Hall of Famer. Did he get nothing to the Hall of Fame yet? They didn't show it in the video, but I'm pretty sure he got it. But man, like, comment, subscribe, bro. Let me know how y'all feel about Dan Henderson, man. Where y'all got him ranked all time in both of them divisions. But I'm gonna see y'all next video, man. Y'all already know what's going on. No cap.